Hey, what's up guys, it's Massleaf here, back with another Kane's Wrath video commentary, and today we have Unleashed UA playing as the Cyan Nod, and bike-RUsh+ownz playing as the Red R17, and I'm definitely in the mood to do this, so let's get stuck in, and hopefully this game is any good. So yeah, we got bike-RUsh+ownz over here, playing as the R17. Not often does he play R17, he usually goes for the Black Hand, but we'll see how he goes with this faction this game. We also have the one, the only Unleashed playing as the Cyan Nod. Wouldn't surprise me if he's going for Shadows, as that is building way too slowly to be a refinery, so I'm going to guess this is going to be a Shadow team opening by Unleashed. He's been doing this to me several times lately as well. It works pretty good against the Scrin factions, especially since you can grab both of the Tiberium spikes and negate anything like a Disintegrator opening, because those Shadow teams in 1.02 plus do not bug at all, which is often quite convenient for Nod. But yeah, bike-RUsh+ownz has a hunch that there's going to be a Shadow teams incoming. Perhaps he was looking through the fog to see if there was any sales of the Shadow, of the Secret Shrine I should say. Yeah, he does know that those Shadow teams are incoming. You can tell because he's preparing for it. He's got two buzzer hives there. And Unleashed, he's not going to bother to go for the power plants. I think bike-RUsh should know that he's not going for the power plants, since he is on the latest version of 1.02 plus. And the Shadow team support power has been delayed by 4 seconds. But yeah, calling in the swarm support power, this is something I had in mind as well. Works pretty good against the engineers, if the engineers are close together. But if you're playing against a good player, you can probably split those engineers apart to avoid both of them being killed. So you can only get one engineer there, and then another one would just easily capture the spikes. Shadow teams can make pretty short work of those buzzer swarms. But yeah, bike-RUsh+ownz, he's on 2 harvesters now. Unleashed though, he's on 2 harvesters. Both of his engineers did get cleaned up. So Unleashed, I'd imagine he's pretty behind in economy, although that support power did cost bike-RUsh+ownz $1,500 and an additional $750 to build the nerve center. So it doesn't look as though he's so far behind of Unleashed. Unleashed, he does have 2 harvesters here. That harvester, actually no, he's got 3 harvesters. There's an additional harvester there. And the Shadow teams have made their way into the base. They destroyed an upgraded power plant. Oh, that's got to hurt bike-RUsh+ownz production. Those harvesters will now take twice as long to build, because he does not have any power plants. His MCB does give him a small amount of power, but not a sufficient amount to build anything at a decent rate at all. But a second refinery is up for bike-RUsh. He probably could have spammed a couple harvesters, but then again, if you're going to be spamming harvesters against Nod, then your refinery could probably be vulnerable to a flame tank rush. So you're better having a refinery, a secondary refinery, just as a backup in case something like that happens. And I don't think bike-RUsh+ownz has scouted Unleashed. Let me just go to his fog. No, he has not scouted, but then there is a Seeker coming in here. He is aware of the flame tanks. Unleashed UA going for those flame tanks. I know exactly what he likes to do here. He's going to go for mass flame tanks. He's probably going to continually go for flame tanks. If bike-RUsh+ownz is playing smart, he could probably get the nerve center back up, train a couple Devour tanks, charge those Devour tanks up, and pretty much 4-shot those flame tanks, which is always a nice thing indeed. Despite receiving some damage from these militants, although it's going to take a long time for it to destroy that. And if the flame tank does come in, is he going to destroy this war factory? The Seekers aren't very powerful against flame tanks. You need a group of them to do a ton of damage to them. And as you can see, this flame tank, ooh, that was so close. bike-RUsh+ownz using the repair tool there to just keep his war factory alive, and he's going to pay to repair that warp sphere. You could probably just throw down a barracks and get the assimilator out, but there are Shadow teams coming in. Is he aware of these inbound Shadow teams? Will he go for the stasis chamber? Goes for the stasis chamber. Not entirely sure if that was a good idea for what you call it, Unleashed. And taking out those Shadow teams. Wow, this game is intense thus far. So no more Shadow teams for Unleashed. Poor micro there, I have to say. He could have kept those shadow teams alive. The Reckoner does have engineers inside of it, and as we all know, Unleashed loves his Tiberium spikes. He just loves it. And the Warp Sphere does get taken out. The Assimilator trained, just, you know, I don't know why he trained that there. And he's going to just place it next to this extractor in case it gets targeted by a flame tank or something. bike-RUsh+ownz is desperately going to have to rebuild that Warp Sphere, or else he's possibly going to face annihilation if Unleashed UA has more and more flame tanks coming. And bike-RUsh doesn't know that. He does not know the fact that that's the only Reckoner on the map. But the Black Hand squads are coming out, and he's going to try and destroy as much here as possible. bike-RUsh+ownz using the Gunwalker to crush as many of these Black Hand squads as possible. 2 Black Hand members remaining. He's going for this Disintegrator squad, but bike-RUsh+ownz microing that away so the Gunwalker doesn't, so the Black Hand squad doesn't kill them. And these Scorpion tanks, not entirely sure what they were trained for. He could have just went for economy. Seekers can easily be dealt with by spamming Militants because they have really crap gun damage penalty. I mean, Militants, they just own them completely. In this patch, 1.02 plus is more or less the same as 1.02, except it has the bugs fixed. It's a bug fix patch, that's all I have to say, really. And this Scorpion tank trying to engage this single lone Disintegrator squad and able to take it out. Those Disintegrators can't soak much damage, if anything at all, really. And there's a surplus of Scorpion tanks here. I'm not sure why Unleashed was trained so many of those. I mean, the Seeker threat isn't that great from bike-RUsh. He's only got 4 Seekers, but if he used that in combination with the Lightning Spike, then he has some serious harassment potential. And he's going for the Tiberium spikes. It looks like Unleashed was able to capture the Tiberium spikes, so that's nice work by Unleashed. And the Scorpion tanks are going to be forced to engage these Seekers and defend the Tib spikes. Tib spikes only cost $4 to repair, as I've mentioned many times before. So do not hesitate to repair those spikes if they are under attack, as it will still be profitable for you. Now, bike-RUsh+ownz has a good economy setup, going for the Disintegrators and the Seekers. The Disintegrator is actually more useful for the Skrin and Reaper 17 faction than Traveler without the upgrade, because they move slightly faster and they can chase down Predator tanks as far as I know. But not Scorpions, because, you know, Scorpion tanks are so fast. And bikes coming in from the rear, so Unleashed doing a 2-pronged attack. Those bikes, I'm not sure if they were able to pick off any harvesters whatsoever there, but they will retreat seeing those Disintegrators and Seekers. What is Unleashed going for? He's going for a tech. This is probably going to be a Tib Chem plant. He's not working on any upgrades, and yes, it is going to be a Tib Chem plant, so not working on the lasers, not going for those Dozer Scorps, and using the Tiberium Vein detonation. Oh, that's got to hurt. Double one click, even using the Catalyst Missile, and that has got to hurt. Even detonating part of the Tiberium field. So if this turns into a very long game, then bike-RUsh will not have as much Tiberium as Unleashed. But that Tib Vein, not able to finish off the harvesters. That's the problem with the Tib Vein. You have to make sure you have some support in order to clean up the rest of the forces. But yeah, these Seekers and Disintegrators going to take out this buggy. Back to the subject of the... Oh, okay, hold that thought for there for a second. There are Scorpion tanks coming in, and these photon cannons are pretty deadly against Scorpion tanks, as you can see, and he's desperately trying to hold off against these Scorpion tanks with the photon cannons and the Disintegrators. But will it be enough? Harvesters are going to go down. One harvester goes down, but sacrificing all those bikes just to get a single harvester. And bike-RUsh+ownz has knows that he's used the Catalyst Missile, so he's not afraid of putting these refineries close together. Actually, I don't think those refineries are close together at all. He's probably not in danger of receiving another Catalyst Missile anytime soon. And more Reckoners by Unleashed. I mean, is Unleashed toying around here or what? He's going for a Redeemer. That's not a bad decision. bike-RUsh+ownz has only tier 1 units. He's going to have to build that tier 3 immediately in order to get the units he needs to take on that Redeemer. The Reckoner will get taken out. The Black Hand squads inside of it doing a lot of damage. The Buzzers cannot degarrison those Reckoners. I would have loved them to be able to do that, but unfortunately, no, they cannot do that. Cultists, on the other hand, if you capture a Reckoner filled with infantry, with a cultist squad, they automatically degarrison the Reckoner, which is always a nice feature of the cultist. Anyways, yeah, back to the Tiv vein. If you have more than $4,000 in your bank account and you use the Tiv vein, it will actually remove all of your cash. So you want to make sure that you have your credits as close to $4,000 as possible, or you're probably going to waste a lot of money using that support power. It's a slight bug, and it hasn't been fixed in 1.02 plus because, you know, it directly affects balance, in my honest opinion. And laser capacitors is done for Unleashed, and that is terrible news for the Seekers. Those Seekers are just going to get annihilated by those laser capacitors. The buggy is obviously very, very amazing against Seekers, especially with the upgrade. And bike-RUsh, what have you got now? You're going for Storm Riders, really? Are you serious, bike-RUsh? Going for those Storm Riders? But remember, Unleashed has the tech. He has the tech. He can go for stealth tanks. But does Unleashed know about his tech? Let's go to his point of view here. Doesn't look like he knows about the gravity stabilizers there. And these buggies and bikes will be probably could do some harassment on these harvesters. Although there are some photon cannons. The Redeemer is out. It is somewhere around here. This bike's been taken out by just a couple of disintegrator squads. That isn't good for Unleashed, although he has had those for a long period of time. So those spikes definitely giving Unleashed a big economic advantage. The buggies and the bikes going to be taking on these Storm Riders, but the Storm Riders are just here in overwhelming force, and the Redeemer, it has no backup, no support, and these Storm Riders could end this Redeemer so quickly. I mean, Unleashed has nothing. He's got nothing inbound to take on this Redeemer. The Redeemer is going to go down so quickly. Look how fast it's going. Using the Rage Generator for no reason. There's nothing here to rage except the base defenses, and bike-RUsh could just power down those base defenses. And I don't think he's going to even get a single structure here. He's only going to get a portal, so that was a total waste of Redeemer. But having said that, the expansion is up for Unleashed, and that should definitely be a cue to get the Tiberium core missiles. And as you can see, he's working on that upgrade already. So Unleashed, quick to respond to this threat of Storm Riders. He needs stealth tanks out immediately, or EMP Raider buggies. Both would be ideal, especially as he already has the upgrade for the EMP Raider buggies. He has to move these EMP Raider buggies to intercept these Storm Riders. Storm Riders are just going to ignore the buggies, which isn't a bad choice, to be honest. He's going for the harvesters or not. He's going for the base defenses. Yeah, that's good work there by bike-RUsh+ownz, taking them out quickly. Using the buzzer swarms to reveal the harvesters. That is a good idea as well. And the buggies are coming in, and these Storm Riders will be forced to retreat. bike-RUsh has no Tiberium, but he's leeching a lot of Tib. He knows that he has the map control with these Storm Riders, and he's going to make the most of it and leech as much of this Tiberium as possible. Unleashed UA not bothering to leech that Tiberium there, so that's going to be to bike-RUsh's benefit. And he's got so many Storm Riders, really. He needs to get his Hexpot out or something to cause some damage to Unleashed, because Unleashed now has the Tib core upgrade, and that is terrible news for these Storm Riders. But will he get more of the buggies? More buggies going down. He does not want to lose those Storm Riders either. He wants to keep those intact for as long as possible. Leeching is a lot of blue Tiberium. Unleashed going for another Redeemer. And he needs to transfer some harvesters over here. I mean, he's got no harvesters on this field. He spent so much money on getting this base, and yet he has no harvesters there to mine it. So come on, Unleashed, send some harvesters over there. He's got 3 harvesters here. A couple of them are blue. Unleashed is going to send a harvester here and realize that a large chunk of it has been harvested by bike-RUsh. And there is Venoms coming out now for Unleashed. He's probably just going to do some scouting, and he knows about the Storm Riders there, so that's nothing new there. Not news at all. And how's he going to respond to these Storm Riders? He's going for harvesters, not a bad choice. He needs to get his economy right back up. He is not in a rush to push bike-RUsh, because these Storm Riders will not dare go near the base defenses. But the Redeemer once again going to get severely damaged by these Storm Riders, and bike-RUsh+ownz has to save this. I mean, you don't want to see 2 Redeemers go down the same way. That's just terrible. Come on. And it's not even cloaked. If he cloaks this Redeemer, that's going to be absolutely awful news for bike-RUsh. But he's going for the cloaking field. That's what I thought there. Using the cloaking field, saving that Redeemer, and he's going to pay for it with Storm Riders and more Storm Riders going down. But remember, bike-RUsh+ownz harvested a lot of that blue Tiberium. And he's going to be spending his money on Mecha P's. Not sure if that's a good idea for bike-RUsh. What on earth is he going to do with those? They can't detect stealth. Well, actually, they can detect stealth, but on in a very limited radius. And many of the Storm Riders did get destroyed by the base defenses. He committed too hard there. The Redeemer was able to escape by using the cloaking field. And bike-RUsh has no Tiberium. He's got no Tiberium. While Unleashed has a ton of Tiberium. He's got so much Tiberium here. He has the Redeemer receiving some repairs. He could put a Saboteur inside of there to increase its repair rate. The Mechapede's going to be trying to flank their way into this base, destroy a couple of these structures that are vulnerable to Mechapedes that are actually filled with toxin segments, which is an unusual choice for bike-RUsh. They're not as powerful as flame tanks, nowhere near it actually. Probably 3 of these is equivalent to the DPS of 1 flame tank. 1 Obelisk goes down. Will the headshot be good enough for Unleashed? And yes, it is. He gets 1 Mechapede. 1 Mechapede, probably not a second Mechapede though. Stealth tanks are out. That's not a bad choice, to be honest. If you're up against Mechapedes and Storm Riders, the stealth tanks would be the logical choice and the way to go. And there are Venoms out for Unleashed, and will he be able to do anything about these Storm Riders that are cleaning them up really quickly? The Obelisk does get a single Mechapede there, so 1 Mechapede remaining. Typical being shooted at by these. So much going on here. And there are 4 Storm Riders remaining. He desperately needs to get another SAM turret up, and that's what he's doing. He's got 2 SAM turrets up now. More and more Storm Riders going down. And stealth tanks gonna add insult to injury. Not necessarily need those anymore. I mean, you could just make stealth tanks and win this game, to be honest. Oh, hang on, wait. He's got tons of tripods. Where did he get these tripods from? So bike-RUsh+ownz does have a chance if he can somehow destroy this Redeemer. And what is this? Drone ship? Are you serious, bike-RUsh? But the thing is, Unleashed is not aware of the tripods. The tripods are coming in to EMP this Redeemer. And stealth tanks now. Unleashed probably thought he had this game, making so many stealth tanks, which I'm going to assume he has somewhere around here. He's going for Spectres. That isn't a good. That is actually a good choice to take out this drone ship. And since the Rage Generator has been used, that Redeemer cannot escape from these Reaper tripods. And there is just so many Reaper tripods there, so much DPS, especially from the green conversion beam up lasers. They do a ton of damage to vehicles. And in 1.02 plus, the upgrade has been fixed, so you can now safely charge your tripods up with the conversion reserves upgrade, and they will do bonus damage. That's unlike 1.02, where it just does the base damage of the tripod even when it's green. And the Obelisk, look how fast these Obelisks going down, so fast. And Vertigo Bombers gonna be the unit of choice for Unleashed, taking out a single tripod there and damaging these other tripods. Those Vertigo Bombers could do some serious splash damage here. There is just 1 avatar. The harvest is being revealed by this single Seeker, and there is absolutely no harvesting going on here for Unleashed. He does have 1, 2, 3, 4 Vertigo Bombers, but will that be enough? Two tripods go down, so he only has 3 tripods remaining. But bike-RUsh+ownz going for the portal, trying to get as many of those assimilators out as possible to recapture these husks. The Vertigo Bombers, they rearm so quickly, don't they? They're coming back for more. And the AA battery is now being deployed for bike-RUsh. Does not have the shard launch upgrade, which is unfortunate. And bombing the portal, not sure if that was a good idea whatsoever. He could have just got these tripods here. And he needs to destroy these husks immediately. I mean, he could just force fire this husk with the Obelisk there, and he'll be alright. But the Vertigo is looking for more fun. And will he get this tripod? Tripod survives because it's veteran, remember. Veteran units do get the slight buff. And it looks like bike-RUsh+ownz was able to reclaim a avatar, so that's nice work there. But these husks will get destroyed. And more tripods being destroyed here by the Vertigo Bombers. The Vertigo Bombers being a big pain for bike-RUsh. And this engagement in the middle is so intense, really. Vertigo Bombers, though, will whistle it down really slowly. What was that, Unleashed? Come on. Wasting Vertigo Bombs like that. There is 4 walkers remaining. bike-RUsh+ownz could get a Warp Sphere up and immediately repair those units of his. It looks like he sold a lot of his base up as well. Ooh, trying to bomb the anti-aircraft batteries. Not sure if that was a good idea. He does have 5 Vertigo Bombers. And he has to go for these walkers. He could go for this Reaper tripod, but the thing is, bike-RUsh+ownz has a portal and an MCV here, so if he loses any of those tripods, he could immediately get a simulator out and reclaim them, which is a good idea indeed. bike-RUsh+ownz definitely still does have a chance in this game, despite looking heavily in Unleashed's favor. It's going to be incredibly close now, as Unleashed only has a handful of Vertigo bombers. I don't think he has anything else going on in his base. He's selling up a lot of his structures. A lot of those base defenses did get sold off there, and the Vertigo bombers, I don't think it's a wise idea to engage, especially as there are now Shard Walkers being trained by bike-RUsh+ownz. And was that an MCV cell? That must have been an MCV cell for bike-RUsh. So now bike-RUsh does not have an MCV, but that's going to be good for bike-RUsh, because he needs that money to get as many of these Shard Walkers out as possible to deal with the Vertigo bombers. And the Redeemer facility is up for Unleashed. So Unleashed going for that Redeemer to get a very good rage off on these units. And I wouldn't be wasting these Vertigo bombers Unleashed. They're so precious units. They cost so much money, and you need those to kill the tripods. But the tripods, they do have low health. bike-RUsh+ownz realizing that he needs to save these tripods, sending them back to the warp sphere to get some repairs. The Redeemer is going to come out any minute though. The Obelisk though receiving some defense from this construction yard, so it's behind that building. Obelisk can shoot over structures, if you didn't know. And like most tier 3 base defenses, actually all tier 3 base defenses can shoot over structures. It's only the tier 2 anti-vehicle defenses that cannot, for some unexplicable reason. Do not ask me why. And the Redeemer will come out now any moment. It looks like he's stored on cash slightly. Doesn't surprise me. He has not much Tiberium or Harvesters to speak of. The blue field has not regrown. I'm going to assume that bike-RUsh has been leeching that blue Tiberium field. And bike-RUsh has been able to secure this field in the middle, but that isn't going to be enough because he does not have a drone ship, so he cannot build a refinery there and harvest that Tiberium. Not that it matters though, because the Redeemer is out, and that's a big threat for bike-RUsh. I'm supposed he's quite intimidated of that Redeemer, and there are 2 Vertigo bombers as well. So if tripods just decide to engage, that will be just it. That'll be all over for bike-RUsh. But bike-RUsh gonna instead try and flank his way around this Redeemer here. Not a bad choice, to be honest. And the Vertigo bombers trying to get shoot down on the deck. The Seeker, they're obviously revealing them. He needs to keep these Seekers alive at all costs. Don't know where this Vertigo bomber's going. Where is that stealth tank? I did see a stealth tank receive some repairs at that Redeemer facility. There it is. Hasn't received any ranks. Don't think he has been destroying much with stealth tanks, but no, there is a stealth tank here. Going to be destroying harvesters. He could destroy as many harvesters as he can, because bike-RUsh+ownz is training a lot of these tier 1 units. He does not have any of the upgrades for his Seekers, so they're not as powerful as what they could have become. But more of the base is going to get sold off here, because the tripods obviously would have taken it out. And the Redeemer has to make its way into the base. He could have, seriously, you could have sold a operations center there and gave the Redeemer a Black Hand Squad garrison. That wouldn't be a bad choice, especially as you need to destroy the remaining structures of bike-RUsh. bike-RUsh only has 4 structures remaining, and the tripods are coming back to save the day. He needs to move these tripods in. I don't think he's used the rage generator yet. He's using for the perfect moment to. And the rage generator goes off for bike-RUsh. That rage generator was definitely out of range there, as the tripods did receive an order to force fire the ground. And that's going to be bike-RUsh's opportunity to move in and destroy the Redeemer. The Redeemer is probably going to go down here. The Redeemer facility was sold. The tripods being taken out. 1 tripod remaining, I think. Actually, no, there's 2 tripods there, but the Redeemer has been EMP'd. The Obelisk of Light doing more and more damage. This Obelisk, is it in range of the tripod? Yes, it is. The Redeemer, it is really low on health. And will it get destroyed? Yes, it gets destroyed. And there is just 2 avatars here remaining for bike-RUsh. 2 Vertigo bombers as well. So the Epic unit no longer a big threat for bike-RUsh. And this Saboteur trying to capture the husk, but bike-RUsh+ownz, he has got his game awareness, and he is able to take out that husk as quickly as possible. But the Vertigo bombers get destroyed on the deck of the air tower. The air tower does get destroyed. Oh, that probably cost Unleashed the game there. And he could call in the reconstruction drones, bike-RUsh, to repair this tripod. And damn, this game, insane comeback by bike-RUsh here. It looked highly highly unlikely, especially as he lost that warp sphere in the beginning, and then he got one clicked hard, and then how he pulled this comeback off is just beyond me. And there is even an elite tripod there, an elite Reaper tripod. That's nice use of that tripod. Nice micromanagement by bike-RUsh+ownz, and he was able to pull off a stunning victory there against Unleashed, who definitely had the game for the most part. But then bike-RUsh+ownz, I wouldn't count him out for anything, because he is bike-RUsh, and he is a very decent player indeed. Hated among many, but I think he is without a doubt a decent player, and you can't really deny that, honestly. I mean, he's won many tournaments and ladder wars in a row, literally. And yeah, that just goes to show how decent he is. Unleashed a nice effort in the beginning and using those shadow teams to secure the spikes in the bottom. Not microing them so well though towards the mid game. They did get cleaned up by the Shard Walkers, but still, it did pay off for them, as the resources tab shows that the shadow teams did not really hurt Unleashed economy that much at all, really. Unleashed did leapfrog ahead of bike-RUsh though after the 9-minute mark, and as you can see, he had a slight economic advantage, but then it became fairly evident towards the end. But then bike-RUsh+ownz, he massed so many tier 3 tripods, and Unleashed in the end could not hold against those massed Reaper tripods, and especially as they were being recaptured by bike-RUsh. So yeah, that was a pretty entertaining game, I have to admit. And if you thought this video was actually no, I want to discuss something first before that I close this one off. I know a lot of you have been asking me to do first-person video commentaries. I have been listening to those requests, and I'll see what I can do about that, and possibly bring some of those videos to you in the near future. So yeah, that's all. Peace out. This is Master Leaf.